You're actually better off drinking for breakfast than you are anywhere close to bedtime if you are going to drink alcohol. Now, this isn't an invitation for your listener to go out there and pour some wine and scotch over their Wheat Bix or their toast in the morning.
Breakfast of champions.
Yeah. However, at least then if you were going to drink at breakfast time, your body would have 16 hours to process the poisons and the toxins from the alcohol to give yourself the best opportunity to sleep the way that nature intended you to sleep at night. But alcohol is a sleep destroyer. It's true that sleep may help you to fall asleep, but the quality of that sleep will be so compromised that you will wake up feeling irritable, tired, distracted, foggy, and craving sugary substances, which makes you eat more food, which then has you put on more weight, which then leads to you craving more food and the lack of self-confidence, and then it increases fatigue, which of course then brings itself to 5 or 6 o'clock where you're craving something to relieve you of that fatigue, which of course can usually be found in a bottle of red wine or a beer or a scotch or whatever. So drinking alcohol anywhere close to bedtime is just a disaster. I will also say drinking at all is a disaster. There's no health benefits whatsoever to alcohol. This has been researched thoroughly. Just anecdotally, I will share one of our Project 90 clients, and Project 90 is our 90-day stop drinking process where we take investors and executives and entrepreneurs through a mind rewiring process and help them kind of love living an alcohol-free lifestyle. One of our clients, his name is Evan Melcher, and he's a financial services manager out of Atlanta, Georgia. He joined us about 4 years ago, Justin, and he was an Oura Ring wearer.
Okay.
And he had been tracking his heartbeat, his heart rate over the course of a year as a drinker.
Okay.
And it was a disaster. It was like the equivalent of going very quickly. He joined our 90-day stop drinking program, Project 90, stopped drinking, and he tracked himself over the 90 days and then the next 90 days, so over 6 months and then over a year. And after 1 year alcohol-free, because he stopped drinking, he joined our program, stopped drinking for 90 days, decided to keep going, stopped drinking for a year, he figured out that he saved 5 million heartbeats in 1 year. And he tracked it using his Oura Ring. 5 million heartbeats. So his heart rate went from to something more like slowed right down. So alcohol puts this tremendous strain on the heart, this tremendous strain on the body. We have to work harder. And the body doesn't want that. The body wants to live the way that nature intended it to live, and nature did not intend it to drink attractively packaged poison. So that's just the health benefits, okay? But think about relationship, okay? Imagine you're irritable and you're stressed and you drink alcohol. And because you're irritable, stressed, and you're foggy and you're tired the next day, you snap at your wife or your partner or your husband or your children just a little bit. You're just a little bit irritable and you say something under your breath. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. And then that creates this tension and this resentment. And then over many weeks, months, years, and possibly decades, that can lead to, you know what, I think maybe it's time to get a divorce. Do you know what's very expensive, Justin? Divorce.
Yeah.
That's incredibly expensive from a financial investment point of view. You know what else is incredibly costly? Your children not wanting to spend time with you. Now, that is just death to most parents. I saw an interview with some billionaires once, and one of them said something profound. And he said, you know what the definition of success is? And he said it wasn't $1 billion succeeding, creating impact in the world. He said the definition of success is your adult children want to spend time with you.
That's great.
I was like,
I love that.
That's amazing. And most of us are drinking alcohol at the end of the day. We're not alcoholics, but we're having 1, 2, 3 seemingly innocent drinks, and it's causing this friction with our husband or our wife, or this distractedness with our kids. We're not as present. And all of that shows up in this compromised way of living where people kind of resent you a little bit. You resent them. You're kind of pissed off. You're focused on what you don't have. You're living a life of expectation instead of appreciation. And that seeps into your business, and it seeps into your financial decisions, and it seeps into your wealth creation strategies because you're distracted, you're irritable, you're foggy, and you're not feeling the best version of yourself.
Yeah, that's powerful. Now, one of the things I'd love to talk about is alcohol-free wealth. So you got into it a little bit here with family. I'd love to talk about just the transformation that cutting back on drinking can have on career and finances, right?
Yes. Well, let's do a calculation, shall we? I call this
Yeah.
the lost revenue calculator. So imagine, if you will, a business owner who generates $1 million a year in annual revenue. Okay, that's a nice business, $1 million a year. And he is, let's say, a modest drinker. He's not an alcoholic. He's not getting drunk on weekends. But let's say most nights of the week he's having at least 2 drinks, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 if he's out networking. He doesn't get a DUI. He doesn't get arrested. But he's consistently, over many months and years, and maybe even decades, 2, 3 drinks a night. Now, that is compromising his sleep, right? So he wakes up distracted, foggy, irritable. So that shows up in his business as not making an additional sales call, not being fully present on a sales call. He finishes work at 4:30 instead of 5:30 because he's tired and he's irritable. He doesn't hire that person. He doesn't fire that person because he's spending the morning recovering from 2 or 3 drinks the night before, or sometimes 4 if he's out with the lads or he's out having a business meal and he hasn't slept well. Now he's lost the whole morning. He's just kind of phoning it in. He's operating at, say, a 6 out of 10. Now, most entrepreneurs, when they come to our program and they're a prospective client, I will ask them, compared to your capacity on a scale of 1 to 10, how efficient and productive are you in your business? They will usually say 5 or a 6 out of 10. And I go, okay, so at a 5 or a 6 out of 10, your business makes $1 million a year. Yes? Yes. Okay, got it. And then I say, well, let's say that you stop drinking alcohol. The benefits you would get would be this, right? You'd sleep better. You'd have more clarity, more focus, more energy. You'd make an additional sales call. You'd make a better sales call. You'd hire the right person. You'd fire the right person. You'd have the time and the thought and the focus to invest your money in the business in a more wise manner. You might spend more money on marketing. You might look at the numbers and actually look at the books and be able to have strategic insight because of that beautiful clarity and focus that you have. And then you'll make different decisions, better decisions. Yes? And they say yes. And I said, if that was consistent and you were doing that over many months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, how effective and productive would you be in that business? And they will usually say about an 8 or a 9. I say, okay, great. So at a 5 or a 6 out of 10, as a drinker, you make $1 million. How much money do you think you would make if you were operating at an 8 or a 9 out of 10 in your business over the course of the year? And almost always they say something like probably double, at least double. I said, okay, that's $1 million extra dollars. So your drinking habits are costing you $1 million a year. And then I shut up.
Minimum, plus the cost of the alcohol.
Minimum. Then I shut up. I shut up, Justin. And it's like this, it's like a mic drop moment. And I usually hear this, oh.
Wow.
And I go, wow, $1 million. Now here's the really interesting thing. I'm going to pull out my calculator, Justin. Okay. I've got my calculator right here. If we go $1 million divided by 365 days of the year, every day that you choose to drink in this scenario is costing you $2,739.
Wow.
Let's just say the entrepreneur claims that he drinks 2 drinks a day. I would submit it's probably 3, but let's say 2. So we divide that by 2. Every single drink that entrepreneur in this scenario has is costing him $1,369.86.
Wow.
That's a pretty expensive cocktail, Justin.
That is.
And
that's palpable, right? I mean, and just add it together for a week or add it together for a month. Yeah.